All right, first of all, I apologize. I'm still a little bit underneath the weather here. But just wanted to talk about and summarize the season here for us. I'm really pleased with the fact that two of our kids ended up being on the SEC All-Freshman team, and I think you could have made a valid case that Fred Thomas could have been a part of that as well. Obviously, Kentucky had multiple guys on that All-SEC freshman team, but for us to have two kids on there and the only other school to have that was Kentucky, I'm proud of that fact. I think what I'm most happy about is the continued improvement of our kids individually throughout the season. I think people saw that Gavin Ware was a problem down low for teams, and they started to focus in on that. And that needs to happen for our other guys to become better. Gavin has to continue to be a focal point for the other teams as far as like stopping him inside to make our other guys better. I think you see that Chicken, continually got better as far as like his distribution of the ball. For that young man to take on the load that he had to take on as far as like being a scorer and being a penetrator for the team and constantly reducing his turnovers and increasing his assists throughout the season was a positive. I think Fred Thomas started to display better shot selection, and I think he's going to be a good player for us. I think you can see that Colin Borker became that skilled, versatile four-man that I thought he could become. And I think it's a little bit of an unfair knock on junior college kids because they expect them to come in and be instant impact guys. But those guys have to go through a transition in Division I basketball as well. Trevonte Bloodman, was really a worrisome part for us at the beginning of the season, and I thought he became, rock solid. He still needs to improve, but he just really did a good job of managing the team and not turning the basketball over. You look at Tyson Cunningham, became a guy from a walk-on to a guy who became a dependable, role player. Even Baxter Price continued to improve. So I think you see as we go throughout this that our guys are getting better individually, and I'm really happy and pleased about that. I think Raquez Johnson accepted who he is, towards the end of the season. I thought at the beginning of the season he was a kid that was an energy guy that came in and just made hustle plays, and I thought that he got away from that a little bit, and then after the suspension he realized what his role is on the team and became a really good player for us. Moving forward, from the individual performances, what we have to do, I think there's three areas of concern that we need to concentrate on. I think the biggest thing here in the off-season is our strength and conditioning, more so the strength and conditioning. I thought if you watch that Tennessee game, you could see the difference in the physicality between our team and Tennessee. And that's not an unfair knock on our players, our Coach Akins, but there's really only one kid, Raquez Johnson, who's been in our program in the off-season. In junior college, they don't have the wherewithal to lift weights and to get bigger and stronger. So this will be the first true off-season for our kids, and we got to take advantage of that. Each one of our guys needs to get bigger and stronger, and I just don't like the fact that we got pushed around in that game against Tennessee, and I think if you watch that, you can see the difference in the physicality between the two teams. So that needs to be a focal point of our team, and not just individually, but our team as a whole. I think the other thing is if you just look at statistics, we talk about playing harder, playing smarter, and playing tougher than the other team. I thought for the most part we always played harder than the other team. But the toughness factor and the smartness factor has got to be improved. And what I mean by that is our rebounding margin. There's 345 teams that they keep stats on. We were 304th in the nation in rebounding margin. And that doesn't bode well as far as like our outcome and what we're going to do. You need to finish the possession with a rebound, and so we've got to be a lot better in our rebounding margin, and that's a part of the toughness that I think we got to improve on. And then the second thing, as far as like the offensive, once again, there's 345 teams in the nation. We were 342nd in the nation as far as like assist to turnover ratio, and we're just not giving ourselves a chance to score the basketball and to win ball games if we're going to be that bad taking care of the basketball. And that's the smartness factor. So those are the things that we want to improve on in the offseason first and foremost, along with the individual development of our kids. But the one thing that I'm going to tell our guys, and they have to understand, is like, don't make assumptions. Don't assume just because we'll have 13 scholarship guys instead of 6 or 7 scholarship guys that we'll be a better team. You know, you have to make sure that you're putting in the work individually as a team to get better. And the other thing, not to make an assumption about, you know, don't assume, you know, that just because you're a year older, you're going to be better. You have to put in the time in the off season on your own to get better. So those are the two assumptions that I don't want our kids making as we move forward. But overall, I'm happy with the product that we have on our team. I think we have a bright future, and I'm looking forward to getting back on the court and coaching a full squad.
So do